Christ is risen.
Truly, he is risen.
Hello, Cooper.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello, audience.
Hello, audience.
What is going on, internet king-pilled people? You know, we were having a discussion before we went live here about what we about pills. As I put in the title, time to take the grill pill. And I did that as a shout out. There was someone, I don't remember if it was in the replies on our last episode or sometime in the on my tweets or something like that. Someone said they liked the term grill pill, and that it was one I've never heard someone else say it. I assume plenty of people have. I said it during the last episode, just kind of off the cuff, and so yeah, taking it's the guys who just want to grill, and I think that I would say, speaking for myself, and I think Cooper agrees here, that over the past few years of being involved in extremely online right-wing politics, I've really come to appreciate the grill pillars, the guys who just want to grill, man. Like I just want to grill. I don't want to have my life be dominated by all this stuff. I think that this probably should be the case for a lot more people. This is something we're going to talk about today on the show. But as we were talking about this, Cooper's complaining that it's becoming like Gate. Like you have the something Gate when anytime there's some sort of a controversy, and he's getting tired of seeing pill added onto things. And I asked him if he was pill-pilled, and he is apparently not pill-pilled, and he said he is pill-pulled or pull-pilled. And I said, well, that's funny because there's this thing called pill pull, and saying this within the first 5 minutes of the episode is probably going to get us slapped on the wrist by YouTube, I'm sure. But Cooper wasn't familiar with the term pill pull, so I looked it up. And I guess I'll do it again here real quick for you guys, because there's a funny little thing that I encountered as I was reading about it. So pill pull.
You know, when I said that I am pull-pilled, what I meant by that is I'm pulling the hose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You bringing them in?
That's right.
What?
That's right. It's like pulling on dicks. Gay.
Oh, those kinds of hoes.
Yeah, those ones. The gay ones.
So, for those who don't know, pill pull is a thing. It is actually kind of tangentially related to what we're going to talk about today. Pill pull, from Hebrew, loosely meaning sharp analysis. It's a method of studying the Talmud through intense textual analysis and attempts to either explain conceptual differences between various halakhic rulings or to reconcile any apparent contradictions presented from various readings, which is like pill pull. This is like applying pill pull to the definition of pill pull. What's really funny is the Wiktionary, the Wikipedia dictionary, has as synonyms for pill pull sophistry, hair splitting, and quibbling, which is very interesting. I wouldn't expect that. I would think that Wikipedia would be, they would not even sanction the idea of associating such a concept with anything remotely negative. I'm impressed.
I need to get a MAGA hat.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm like a week into my mustache. I'm working on a farmer's tan right now.
Get you some cut off jorts.
Yeah, brother.
You only wear work boots everywhere you go, so it would be perfect. You've got your Red Wings with your cut off jorts and
work boots everywhere I go. What are you talking about?
That's what you told me. You said you always wear your work boots all the time. Like you walk like 10 miles wearing work boots. Like just for fun.
In the winter. Yeah. Because it's cold in Michigan. So I wear my boots, yeah.
What is cold like? Can you
Michigan?
Can you describe this to me?
It's like where you're really you're so handsome all the time and you've got a big brain and you wouldn't understand.
Oh yeah. That's way beyond me.
And you're really cool and you're just pulling all the hose and you wouldn't get it.
All the Michigan hose, huh? That's what Michigan's known for, is its hose.
Yeah, our hairy Yooper women that breed fine stock.
Yeah. I just saw something on Twitter as I was scrolling during our our intro music,
Party stock.
Christian Bale is in a feud with his mother and sister over his Serbian wife. Famous Hollywood actor Christian Bale, 45, is currently having some family trouble, mostly with his mom and sister, since he has turned Orthodox Christian because of his Serbian wife. Is Patrick Bateman Orthodox?
Oh, dude.
Do we get to live in this timeline? It's just a screenshot of text, so I don't know if it's actually.
Is Christian Bale? Is he Orthodox? I mean, alleged. I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot, you know.
Right.
Tom
right.
Hanks is Orthodox, and
Right.
babies or whatever. So, you know.
Okay, I got to give some credit here. Someone picked the low hanging fruit. Like I said, naturally he'll be changing his name to Orthodox Christian Bale. I gotta appreciate that. Apparently, writers of Batman comics Frank Miller and Chuck Dixon have said that Batman is Catholic. Huh.
All
right. Well.
Anyway.
Before yes, Buck absolutely would be one to pick at the low-hanging fruit of the worst joke available at any given moment.
It's because it's like there's this Gen X thing that I can't stand, where their humor is undergirded by puns, and it's so low IQ. I can't stand it.
And see, here my life is defined by puns and spoonerisms. I can't get enough of them. You're not a very good dad, Cooper.
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like when they say, I want milk. I say, I want milk. I'm dad. Or, I'm cold. Hi, cold. I'm dad. And that makes them very angry.
Yeah? They don't like that, huh?
No, not at all.
Yeah, that pissed me off when my parents would do that to me, too. My grandpa used to tell me... he would go, Matt, he would do this for multiple things, but he would say, Matt, if silence was golden, you'd be a plugged nickel. or if he would do it with common sense too. If common sense was golden, you'd be a plugged nickel. And I've heard it all my life. How is your pasta?
Yeah, it is better than quoting movies at everyone. That's a millennial thing. Glonk.
Okay, so we have millennials quote movies at everyone. Gen X has terrible puns and dad jokes. What are the boomers?
Dad jokes are good. I like the dad jokes. Just puns are don't do it for me.
So then how do we categorize the Zoomers and the boomers? What are their
boomers don't like having sex with their wives because they're probably divorced. And Zoomers pretend they know what sex is.
Your swing was kind of slow, but you actually hit that one out of the park. That was well done. Oh yeah, Buck says boomers have bad memes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
All of their memes are basically they're like political cartoons from newspapers when those were a thing 20 years ago.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, Buck says he gets them daily from his parents. Buck's parents are like the best people on the planet. They are the most precious boomers. They are just boomers through and through. And I've actually, we've been coming full circle on the boomers, and I've actually been thinking about this, just how nice it can be to just, as long as you're keeping the conversation away from politics and education and the economy and foreign policy and whatever else. If you're just like normal normie life, boomers are really nice to be around. They're just I'm gonna miss the boomer generation when it's gone. There'll be good things about them being gone, but there's definitely a lot of good stuff about the boomer generation that I think has gone underappreciated.
Oh no, Kate is a serial movie quoting millennial. Oh no. Well, okay, there are a few movies that are exceptions to that. Like you can quote Napoleon Dynamite. You can quote Hot Rod. That's a good one. I don't know. SpongeBob quotes are always fine.
Hey, okay, I've got a movie. Let's get that. I kind of have a feeling where I'm pretty sure I know where you're
Can
going to
we
land on
address a
this.
question here in the chat real quick from
Yeah.
Yaboyski?
Yeah.
Yaboyski says, off topic, but at Cooper, do you see your and your family staying in Michigan long term? Debating moving since this state has seemed like it's spiraling my entire life, and I don't see it improving. If you feel that way about Michigan, I'm assuming you live in one of the metro areas or one of the cities, because, dude, get up north a little bit. I love Michigan. I never want to leave. I might at some point, but I'm thinking maybe long term, if I'm moving anywhere, it's going to be in the Upper Peninsula. I love Michigan. You'd have to pay me a lot of money to leave Michigan.
He said, curious for Matt's thoughts too.
Matt's been to Michigan. Matt loved
I have.
Michigan.
I did. Yeah, I did. I don't really have a lot of interest in moving back. Just
Well, you lived in Sterling Heights, which is like north of Detroit, so you weren't even in the good parts of the state.
I spent a little bit of time out there. I had a couple different things I went to, so I drove out into the out into the country. Had a tornado warning and everything, which for me as a West Coast boy was quite a thing. But like I don't really have anything against Michigan. It's just, you know, it's pretty far down my list of it'd probably be, if I was to put together a list of like my
It's like in
ideal
top
states
two.
I would like
It's
to
in
go
top
to.
two because I live here.
It would be no. It would be probably, I don't know, somewhere between 10th and 14th or something like that.
We can all agree it's better than Ohio, though.
Oh yeah. Well, I did find one good thing about Ohio.
No.
No?
You're wrong.
There's no good things about Ohio?
No, worst state in the union, dude.
Oh. Well, they've got a really cool roller coaster.
Do you know why they have toll roads?
Why?
Because they know that everyone driving through Ohio was just driving through to get somewhere better.
So they got to get something out of them
Yeah,
while they're there.
Yeah.
They charge for the bathrooms. Yeah, and everybody who lives in Ohio is retarded.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah. Ohioan
I
is
know
really just
many.
like a synonym for retard.
Yeah, and gay.
And homosexual. I wonder how many. We actually probably have a pretty decent. It's kind of surprising how many people are from Ohio in our little circle. We every time. I don't know. It seems like half the people that come into the group are from Ohio or connected to Ohio in some way. So it's like they're spreading. They're infecting the rest of us.
Okay, Yaboyski, he says UP is great, but there aren't really jobs up there. I worked in automotive for what it's worth. So get out of automotive. Like, if you're going to be in automotive, if that's what you're committed to, then you're going to be staying in Lansing or Detroit or Flint or Kalamazoo or Battle Creek. You're going to be in like one of those cities, Saginaw. Like, and all of those cities suck.
It sounds like the cities suck in Michigan.
The
Like this is
cities
a
suck.
defining
It's the cities
feature of
suck.
Michigan.
Yeah, you get out of the cities, it's great. It's paradise.
That kind of reminds you a little bit of Washington. Ryan Isaac asks, where does Matt not like? I probably the last, apart from the obvious things like, I don't know, New York City or something like that, Western Washington is probably the last place in the country that I would want to move to. Just because I've spent so much time there, and it is absolutely beautiful, but the rain genuinely is as bad as you're thinking. It's probably worse than you're thinking. However, Western Washington is absolutely wonderful. It's fantastic. So where he says, where would Matt not like? So Western Washington would definitely be high on that list.
You don't really like Texas that much.
I don't really care for Texas too much. I wouldn't plan on being here long term. I probably have some roots that I'll put down here and maintain them, but I would spend the majority of my time elsewhere. I don't feel all that attracted to Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, aspects of Georgia, maybe. And then
Mark
the Dakotas are kind of
Grand
boring.
Rapids. I love Grand Rapids. That's actually, right now, it's still a decent city, but it's getting worse. It was an awesome city, and it's getting worse. But I love Grand Rapids.
Kyle says that the Ohioans are taking over KP. He says you can't stop us, retard strength. King Salmonfish. Oh, Salmonfish, are you an Ohioan as well? He says they have a shadowy plot to Ohio as everyone white. See, there's so many freaking Ohioans around us. Ryan says Seattle, it's the clouds and light rain. East Coasters would not say it's raining, but yes, seasonal affective disorder is the epitome of living in Western Washington. Yeah, it's you come to Texas, when it rains here. Like it there's water running in the roads. Like you're getting a rainstorm. You're probably getting some thunder and some lightning. In Western Washington, no joke, like not exaggerating at all. It's depending on the year, something like probably 6 to 9 months of the year is going to be 90% gray and drizzly and 45 to 55 degrees. It just every single day. Everything is wet all the time. Your shoes are wet, your jacket's wet, your clothes are wet. You don't even have an umbrella because people give up on carrying an umbrella with them everywhere. You always can tell someone who's from outside has not grown up in Western Washington or lived there for a few years because they'll carry an umbrella around. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. Everyone's just like, yeah, I'm just going to get wet, whatever.
No wonder Kurt Cobain killed himself. It's so
right.
terrible.
Yes. It's because that's the reason why, because he lived in Western Washington. It's really like genuinely during the summer, it is fantastic. It's beautiful. Just brilliant blue skies, blue water, white snow-capped mountains in basically every direction you look. Green year-round, always green. And the weather can be really nice, but that lasts for, I don't know, 6 to 10 weeks, something like that. And then you're right back to all the drizzle. And there's a reason I left. My favorite place in the country, hands down, is anything around the Rockies, essentially. And I'd take that down to Arizona, like south, basically south, but in line with the Rockies. Arizona, Southern California, and then right up the Rockies up to Montana. Everything along that part of the country is just absolutely stunning. That's where I want to put down roots, somewhere in that range. What are you guys saying down here? There was another comment here I wanted to address, and I'm trying to remember what it was. A Glonk said, if you just want to grill, boomers are where it's at. Okay, yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was. I do want to show you guys this. I've mentioned this guy on the show before, and I'm just going to keep putting his type of content in front of you. This is actually related to what we're going to talk about today. So this guy here, his name's Chris Corner on Twitter. Kerner. I don't know how you. I'm assuming he probably just pronounces it Corner because he gets tired of telling people, no, it's actually Kerner. He's.
Oh, that tickled me so.
Yeah. I don't get you like that very often. That felt good. So he's the mobile home park guy, and he's just a really interesting follow for like all things entrepreneur and business and investing and that sort of thing. So he says, just ran across a small off-market RV park outside of Augusta, Georgia. Anyone want it? 11.5% cap rate at $69K NOI. Good numbers. 14 tenant-owned pads on a highway, 7,000 cars daily. The Hare. It's outside of the city limits. It's septic and well water. There's messy books, and there's no room to expand. It's a great little park that stays full and has undermarket rents. They collect rents via Square, so although books are messy, a digital financial record is there. Price is $600K. It's a good-looking park with caring owners, great Google reviews. We aren't buying this because it's too small for us, but this would be great for someone's first park, especially if they're in the area. Shoot me a DM or comment below, and we'll send more info. So this, you just got a picture of it. So first of all, I want to put this out there in case any of you guys are looking to buy a little mobile home park in Augusta, Georgia. $600,000 for something with a $69K NOI. That's a good deal and fantastic little investment. This is the direction that we're going to head ultimately. RV parks, owning like vacation rentals on land out in ideal locations, that sort of thing. There's so many opportunities like this that we spent the last several years spending a lot of time in the online right-wing political circles, all that sort of stuff. And obviously we're still part of it, still involved, and we'll keep talking about these kinds of things. But the whole idea behind what we were wanting to talk about on the show today is I see a lot of our guys are spending way too much time obsessing, putting way too much time and emotional energy in things that are not going to give them a return. Yeah. And you can get into things like this that are going to give you a return, that are going to give you something to build around for like very easily. Getting into purchasing a cash flowing entity like this for 600 grand that's attached to land. All you need to know is the right people. You just need to have enough of a network, and you could get into something like this completely no cash out of your pocket or very minimal cash out of your pocket. This is where our guys need to be. Like, America is for sale. This is a big complaint. The big complaint is that America is treated like an economic zone, and we're here to just be an asset for whatever ruling class happens to be around. And America's for sale. We need to be buying it. I can't afford to do something like this right now because I've got my time and energy invested in other things that are building for longer term stuff to be able to do this and more. But I see so many guys, there's so much potential among our guys, even just on the King Pill Discord. There's so much brain. There's a decent amount of money in there. There's a big network, lots of people who know lots of people. There's the starter for actually building an empire there. That's part of our vision with building out the King Pill community, is to get around us enough people who think like this, or who want to think like this, who want to learn how to think like this, and be able to actually build things that are substantial. Because if we actually get in the business of building things that are substantial, then we can become players in a lot of these circles that we spend all of our time thinking and talking about. That's the thing, is all of these people, they have stuff to offer other people. All we have to offer is what? Like our good ideas? Our hustle? There's not a lot of hustle, being frank. There isn't a lot of hustle that I see. I see a lot of posting. And I don't know what people are doing when they're not posting, but I'd imagine, given the amount of posting that's being done and how educated everyone is on all of this posting, there's a ton of time being spent on stuff that's not going to generate any sort of a return. And that might be fine for peacetime, but this isn't peacetime.
They're getting like Twitter ad revenue or something.
Yeah, some of them are, which, okay, props to you. If you've figured out the algorithm where you're generating the level of the audience and the level of engagement that you can actually like support yourself through doing that, absolutely more power to you. I am pro-grift. I don't even think I'm not even saying that in a bad way. I think it's great. I think it's good. Like, there has to be people who are thinking and talking about this sort of stuff publicly. And then, which means there needs to be people down below them that are feeding ideas up to them. Because that's how this whole frickin' thing works. All these major influencers, the guys who are driving the news cycle and everything, they're just cribbing ideas from people below them, who are cribbing ideas from people below them, and just feeding it on up the hierarchy. And then that's what directs the conversation. So there is utility in this. There's utility in this, but we have to walk and chew gum at the same time. We have to be able to get our ideas out there, get them circulating, and keep that ball moving forward with one hand. But with the other hand, we need to be in the business of actually creating venues where these ideas can be borne out. Prove something with them. So the most recent story that I've seen everyone talking about. Now, I've been busy, so I haven't followed this really closely. I don't know every last little detail of it, but yeah. I think we touched on this on the last show. There's these protests going on. So the background is the protests. You have all these. It's a rerun of, first you had the SJW phenomenon on college campuses with Milo and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and that whole shebang. And then you had the Summer of Love with BLM. And now we're getting this same thing, just the rerun of it with college kids on campuses protesting Israel, and they're pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, whatever. And these have broken out over all these major universities all over the place. It sent them into just a chaotic tailspin. And at some of these universities, especially in the like the SEC schools down in the Southeast, the frat boys decided to get in on the show. Now, first of all, we'll play this video. This is the big one that's come out of all of this that has dominated everything. I got to share my screen. Okay. So, first of all, this guy...
Oh, man, those coveralls are awesome.
Yes.
I want some.
So you know your show that you're putting together?
Yeah.
You're accumulating bits for the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of your bits needs to be you dressed like exactly like he is right now.
I can do that.
Every single thing. The overalls. On. Yeah, the aviators. Maybe do a trucker hat instead of... It looks like he just has a normal flat bill. But you even got the necklace here. A little cross necklace. Just the whole thing.
It's a good look, man.
Uh-huh. This is... this right here is the logo for White Boy Summer. So... This is at Ole Miss. This is the video that really kicked everything off.
We're gonna shut that down.
This is the protest area. What's
that? Okay. So there's lots of stuff going on here. So you've got the, this video didn't have it, but there was another video where you've got this big fat black chick standing here, filming all of them and doing what large fat black chicks at protests do. And
a she-boon for short.
Yes, a she-boon. And so she's all upset that, that white guys would dare actually congregate in public together to do anything. And what was not shown in this video is that they were chanting Lizzo at her, which is just great because this is boomer logic, but I appreciate the boomer logic. It's like, Lizzo is an icon, but if you tell a girl that she looks like Lizzo, she's going to get real mad. And especially if she actually does look like Lizzo. So there was that. You also heard they were chanting "Lock Her Up," which is, this is we're just seeing like 4chan in real life. These guys are publicly shit posting. Everyone wants to like psychologize these frat guys, and it turns out supposedly the frat that he's a part of, which has kicked him out subsequently, is it's a Jewish frat, and they came out and they made their pro-Israel statement and like, hey man, we're here defending. There's one interview I saw just a bit of where he was talking about how we were out there just kind of hanging out and doing our thing, and then as the crowd was getting around and everyone was getting really hostile, we were standing around the American flag and we were looking at it and we were like, they're not taking this flag. Like, they can kill us here, but they're not taking this flag. Which I thought was interesting. You're starting to see, if anything, that sentiment is almost a little, it gets my war radar up a little bit, because that's the kind of sentiment, that's when you actually can start getting actual warfare happening. You've got young men who are now going out and in the middle of a protest environment being like, hold on a second, there's something in me that is activating. There's something in here that, hold on, I actually understand what it would mean to fight and die for a flag. That sentiment is being stirred up, for better or for worse. I'd be inclined to think it's probably for worse, but there's also very good stuff that comes out of it. A lot of this is the Vengeful Sun that 2-Bit Podcast has been talking about. This is the Vengeful Sun phenomenon beginning to manifest itself. And like Jason says, the biggest issue with the Vengeful Sun thing is going to be that it feels really, really good. People really, really like that feeling. It's very gratifying. It's hitting something visceral and carnal in people. That can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. It's absolutely going to be a bad thing. There's absolutely going to be lots of bad things that come from it. The question is, how many good things will come out of it? So I think the backstory here was the pro-Hamas protesters, or whatever you want to call them, went and pulled down a flag at one university and raised the Palestinian flag in the place of the American flag. And so then a bunch of frats all got together at their own universities and went and were like, I don't remember if they raised another flag or if they were just protecting the American flag. Anyways, this is sort of the background of how this whole thing got going. And I've been sitting back just kind of watching. I haven't been on Twitter that much, but I've been checking in every now and then and seeing what people are saying about it. And I see a lot of people that they're doing the typical of the Jews own and control everything. And that in this particular case, what's happening is that they've secretly conceived a plot to get all of the frat boy America fighting up for their cause. And they're psychoanalyzing the frat boys and what are their motivations. They're going and they're defending Israel. And now being pro-America is being pro-Zionist. And that's you get your hands up just a little bit more, just a little higher. Yeah, there you go. Right. So there's a good outline.
Oh yeah. My big old Junos.
Yeah.
That's my daughter, the young one. She was a witch because she had watched for Halloween last year. She watched what's that stupid movie with the three witch chicks?
Not really my demographic. I'm not really the demographic, I don't think.
Oh, it's. Come on, help me out, Kate. Come on, I you know what this is, I'm sure.
Three witch chicks.
Hocus Pocus. So yes, thank you, Euthanasia. So she had watched Hocus Pocus with my mother-in-law around Halloween, and she was a little witch for Halloween. And she would run around the house going.
She's adorable. Kate said Chuck Dirk was all over Instagram promoting the Frat Boy Rising. Seems to be more of a pro-America sentiment over a pro-Israel one by a normicon standpoint.
That's what yeah.
So to me,
you've got, I mean, I agree. Like on first glance, that's what it seemed like to me. I haven't looked into this at all, but then, then I got on Twitter and all the doomers had to weigh in and tell us how it's actually a Jewish plot and whatever.
Right.
Be all gay.
So I think the person who's talked about this, who I've appreciated the most, is Justin Campbell. He was like, guys, these are frat boys. Like, have you ever been in a frat? Do you know what frat boys are like? Frat boys do not have deep ideological concerns. These are a bunch of guys who showed up here because they can get drunk or high or whatever and sit there and yell at people and tell them they're faggots and piss them off and metaphorically shake their dick in front of people. This is what late teens, early 20s boys want to do. This is what they do. They don't have any sort of deep philosophical rationalization of why they're doing this. They'll develop one post hoc if someone's forces them to account for what they were doing. But yeah, Ryan Isaac says, want to get smashed and go fuck with people? Yeah. This is a bunch of dudes who just want to get smashed and go fuck with people for the memes. Honestly, what we have here is a dude who went out in public and started yelling at a gigantic she-boon, jumping around going, which one of you wise guys on Twitter has gone out and done that? You guys like to talk real big behind your keyboards, but I don't see any of you going out on camera and chimping out in front of a fat black chick at a protest. If you want to go do that, you will have my respect, man. So this guy here, JP Staples is his name. He of course got completely doxxed and his frat announced his removal today because the NAACP called on them to expel him. And yeah, so he was removed from the frat. He hasn't been expelled, at least last I saw. Look at this. Oh man. This is going to define this dude for the rest of his life. This is how you talk to your wife at night, right? Euthanasia says we're freaking out his dog.
I'm doing my mating dance.
Yeah. Actually, this is basically exactly what my 3-year-old has been doing for the last couple of weeks. Almost every time I go downstairs, he goes, "Daddy, do you want to do some gorilla fighting?" And doing gorilla fighting means we stand with our legs spread apart and start slapping our chests and then run and crash into each other. That's his idea of a good time. See, like, my 3-year-old is doing the exact same thing that these guys are doing. This is what dudes want to do. They just want to go out and chimp out and have a good time and make everyone mad and just flip them the bird and go on with their lives.
And pull some hose.
Yeah.
Drink beer, pull hose, and fight Shibuns.
Doing it for the memes. What these guys are is political mercenaries. They're not political activists directly. They're just happy to jump into a cause, and I guarantee you, the thing that got them, any political aspect of what got them into this situation was like fuck yeah, we're Americans. We're Americans. We're gonna go defend our flag, man. They're doing it like half for the lulz and half because, yeah, this seems like fun. This would be cool. This is like an outlet for young men to just go do something that is fun and collaborative and feels like it matters.
I don't even think it's that deep. I think they're just looking to hang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those are the things they're getting out of it. Now, what happens is you get a bunch of these eligible political mercenaries that go out and do something like this, and then who shows up right in front of them offering them wealth, status, celebrity. We're going to do a book deal for you. We're going to give you a high-priced lawyer who's going to get you off on your charges. We're going to do a book about it. You're going to go on a college tour. We're going to get you brand endorsements. You're taken care of. We're going to take care of you for the rest of your life. There's only one group that's showing up and doing that for them. And then all I hear is everybody bitching about the weak spine and the how shitty and soft all these Con Inc. guys are. I don't know. I think these Con Inc. guys are pretty fucking smart. They see that there's an army for hire, and they're going to go hire them. Get them to do what they want them to do. So all of the complaining about the way that Israel is influencing American politics is just impotence signaling. Yes, Israel is influencing American politics because American men are soft and easy to buy off. If you want Israel to stop influencing American politics this way, the only way that's going to happen is if American men stop being soft and easy to buy off. Which means American men need to have something to offer. Why aren't we the ones who are bankrolling these guys? Like, everyone wants to... Hey, this kid put out a GoFundMe. I don't even know if it was real. Like, it could have been a complete meme. Kid put out a GoFundMe. And then everyone was arguing about whether or not you should be donating to it, because if you're donating to it, then indirectly you're serving Israel.
Oh my God.
What the fuck, dude? Why do you not want the mantle of the responsible man who shows up like a superhero and solves the problem? Why are you sitting around like bitching and complaining and that's all this is. I was sitting here reading through this, even like guys I like and respect. I'm like, why the fuck are you weighing in on this like this?
Why are you weighing in? This is what bothers me. It's like, you guys don't have to have an opinion on everything, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, not only do you not need to have an opinion about everything, because if you have an opinion about everything, that tells me you're not really doing a whole lot. You don't got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
But furthermore,
with a carve out made for the people who have turned it into a phenomenal grift.
yes, I'm a big fan of the grift. I totally support grifting. I even support people selling out, going and hawking Con Inc. talking points or whatever. Go do, oh yeah, Israel, greatest ally, whatever. Go do your book tour or whatever. Go do that for a few years. Come on back with all the millions you made from that, and then I totally
bankroll a compound.
There you go, man. Like, just full disclosure, guys. If for whatever reason, Mr. Con Inc. guy comes knocking on Mr. Cooper Brooks's door, your mother's secret lover, and asks him to go on a book tour or whatever, like a college tour, hawking, I don't know, Zionist talking points or whatever, and he's going to give me millions of dollars, I am going to do that in a heartbeat, okay?
Yes.
What the point? Why do these guys, like, you sound like libertarians, like standing on principle or whatever. Like, do you believe we're at war or not?
Right. No. I would not. I would not insert myself as a spy in these organizations.
They want to give somebody money. Go take their money.
Right. They should be worried about us as the feds. To them. They should be, and honestly, they are. They are worried that guys like us will go infiltrate their organizations. That's why they're purity testing all the time. They're relentlessly purity testing so they can suss out and eliminate any of the hangers-on who aren't like true believers in the cause. Precisely because they see someone like us as a threat to them. Evan says, guys, stop bitching and complaining. Bitches and complains about it. We're not saying stop bitching and complaining. We're saying stop bitching and complaining about gay shit. The shit that the angles that people are taking on this, they're just freezing themselves into inaction. They're arguing every last little corner of it to where nobody can do anything. All they can do is just sit here and commentate on this issue until the next one comes up. Then there'll be another issue, and okay, we'll commentate on that. And right about the time that maybe we've sort of partitioned ourselves off into camps and just, oh, here comes another one. Okay, let's focus on that issue. Who's building something? If the people who are building are operating in silence, then great. You don't have to answer the question, just keep doing your thing. But I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that there's like this great big organized network of people behind the scenes secretly building things. I think there's nobody driving the ship. This is the great danger. The great danger is that there is no top of the hierarchy. There's a bunch of people that pretend to be. There's a bunch of people who could be. Like, could theoretically become that. But there's nobody who's at the top of the hierarchy right now. And this is why I think, this is what I think is the real, the real danger personally for people who really go down the rabbit hole of determining there to be one singular overarching cause, the source of every conspiracy. Because that's actually a small comfort. Well, at least all these different vague tendrils wind up in one place. That's easier to make sense of. I can just wrap my mind, oh, okay, so bad thing about there. But it's actually worse than that. There is no one centralized locus of all bad things. That if we could just trace everything back to that one hub, then we could unravel it or put it in a box somewhere or put it on a train somewhere or whatever.
Well, I mean, Satan.
But that's the entire point, is that even the way that that the Powers and Principalities Act is not they don't trace back to a single hub. They're not hierarchical and organized. They're striving for one end. The end of the destruction of humanity. But there's like infinite paths to the destruction of humanity. There's one path to the redemption of humanity. So it's the other way around. There's infinite number of ways it could go wrong. There's one way that it'll go right. So the whole, like, everything is reducible to one single, whether it's the Zionists or the Jews or the neocons or the communists or whomever it is. There's lots of things they all have in common. But there is no one single enemy that if we can just sufficiently isolate them, we need to raise the word. We need to let everybody know, hey, there's this big bad enemy out there. Because as soon as you get that enemy isolated, this is the way evil works. As soon as you get that enemy like carved off and isolated and fully identified and you've got a 3D model of it, you've measured every last little millimeter on it, then it changes. Then it becomes something different. This is the wrestling against flesh and blood is very different than wrestling against powers and principalities. That's why St. Paul said that. It's completely different when you're dealing with metaphysical, supernatural, spiritual forces. You're not just going to like carve them off and create a prototype and dissect it, evaluate all the components of it, reverse engineer it, rewire it. As soon as you try to get it contained, it's like you're trying to put a cloud in a box. So, let me catch up on some of the comments here.
This is the rant that John came for. Did you know?
Well, that's good. We made his dog freak out earlier, so
good.
Hopefully we're able to make up for that.
Yeah.
I think I have another one in that's working its way up, but it'll get here in a minute.
Hey, like the stream, everybody. Share, subscribe, smash subscribe, please.
Kyle says it's comfortable to give up responsibility. Yes, absolutely. This is one of the when I worked with Jason Stapleton, there was a lot of people that thought that he was a cornball, and he is. Like he will admit it himself that he's a cornball. But the one of the biggest, most important things that I ever learned from him was the "it's my fault" lesson. It's the most empowering thing that you can say. It's my fault. Because if it's my fault, I'm the one who can fix it. But in order to fix it, you have to first accept your responsibility for it. That's why this has become a meme, talking about like AA. Like the first step to conquering an issue is acknowledging that you have an issue. So the "it's my fault" lesson is just so incredibly powerful. When you say it's my fault, if we collectively say it's our fault that things are the way they are now. When we're upset about the way the Jews did this thing, or Con Inc. did this thing, or whatever other thing is happening, when we're upset about that, what we're upset at is our own inadequacy. We're upset at our lack of ability to do something about it. We don't have the resources. We're reduced to simply begging for someone else to act on our behalf. I think one of the first steps is acknowledging and embracing that. Not being like, well, actually, it was, well, no, well, see the boomer? No. It's our fault. It's our fault that things are the way they are now. That has to be, that's the foundation. If you can't build on that, you don't have a foundation to build on. This is true for men in general. You have to have the foundation of, it's my fault. Incidentally, this is the Christian message of redemption. This is why confession is such an important sacrament. It's my fault. It's our fault things are the way they are now. It's our fault that we don't have guys there ready to step in and pay for everything for this guy. Supply him his own high-powered defense attorney from now for the rest of his life. Sign him to valuable endorsement deals that will pay him forever. Parade him around as a celebrity. Give him personal mentors and coaches. Finance everything about his life. If we had the capacity to do that, then we could start having a conversation about us being the ones who govern. If you want your values expressed in the governance of your home territory, then it's your responsibility to be one of the people involved in the governance. Otherwise, you're just like making a request at a restaurant. It's like walking into a restaurant and sitting down and being like, I'll get the chicken wings. And they're like, sorry, sir, this is a sushi restaurant. How come you don't have chicken wings? It's my right as an American to have chicken wings. That's what this sounds like. If you want a chicken restaurant and there isn't a chicken restaurant around you, you've got to build a chicken restaurant. It's kind of an ironic example to use, I guess, but it's the first one that came to mind. So we've got to build stuff. We have to build our own patronage networks that could actually finance and fund people like this, because then we become desirable. Then people want the world that we want because we want it. This is how you express yourself politically, effectively. Everything else is just order taking at a restaurant. And yeah, maybe somebody eventually will come along and actually figure it out. And oh, yeah, look at this. There's a great big swath of demographics out here that are just looking for someone to look out for them. They are ready and willing to acknowledge they have no agency in this situation. Can't even get them to accept any responsibility for it. It's all someone else's fault. So they're ready to surrender all of their agency to you if you just come in and serve as patron to all of them. Ready-made list of clients. You could sit around and wait for something like that, but who knows when it's going to come? Who knows when that guy's going to show up? And when he does, chances are nobody's going to want to, like, tons of people are going to be like, oh, well, we're different in this little thing. He hasn't sufficiently proven himself as, he's not as racist as I am, or he's not as anti-Semitic as I am, or he's not as much of a misogynist as I am. He hasn't expressed all of his cool cred enough for me. I'll wait for the next guy. All right, well, I mean, eventually you might have to get on a train car you don't want to be on because it's the only one left. You don't want to be on the last train car. And you definitely don't want to be there after the last train car either. Taylor Brown says, howdy, fellas. Risen. Truly he is risen. Thank you, buddy. Taylor is one of our good Roman Catholic friends he's gone out of his way to make sure that he recognizes this is Orthodox Easter. He's a good guy. We're glad to have him around.
More like Easter is Western Pascha. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Catholic dorks.
So we got 43 viewers on YouTube and only 20 likes. Come on, you guys. We're also streaming on Twitter. You can follow me at Real King Pilled on Twitter. We're streaming this on YouTube, but we're also on all of the podcatchers. They get uploaded a few days after we go live, and so you can catch us there as well. Do us a favor and like the stream and share it. I'm gonna go retweet the tweet again. No, not quite yet.
Okay. I got about 10-15 minutes left.
Okay, sounds good. There was something else. What was I gonna do? Oh, was gonna go retweet.
Oh
this
yeah.
again.
Oh, dude, Ryan. I hate when people are like that. They're like, "Oh, Easter was a pagan goddess. You guys worship Ishtar." There's a Jewish guy I know who says that every year. He's a Facebook friend of mine. I've known him for a while. Every year, he's like one of these like Messianic Jews, or no, I don't even think that. He's some weird Jewish sect. In any case, because he's some like even the Jews would consider him like schismatic or something because like his mom isn't Jewish, but his dad is. But he wants to be Jewish, but he can't because his mom isn't.
Uh-huh.
He like subscribes to this like fringe Jewish ideology that lets him still be Jewish, from like the tribe of Benjamin or whatever. And anyway, every year,
Which is like the most Jewish thing I've ever heard.
yeah, exactly. And then every year he like posts on Facebook, like, "Oh, happy Ishtar, Christards." Like these people, man.
Oh, oh man. I don't remember what the other thing was that I was gonna. I had something I was gonna pull up or someone's comment or something, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I guess we could probably just wrap here. Before we go, this Friday we are going to. You guys remember Ben Kelleran who came on the show? Was it probably a week and a half ago now? And we got a really good response from that. A lot of people seem to really enjoy his insights on the market. And he is going to be doing like a live presentation on the King Pill platform this Friday. He's going to be doing. We're going to do a series of these. He's going to be doing a presentation on the commodities markets, what he's seeing, why he's seeing what he's seeing, and go a little bit deeper into some of the data. And for those of you who are either already investors and in the stock market and want to get his take, or if you're wanting to get into investing, and you want to have some more information about the market and everything, then anybody who is on the King Pilled Discord server will be able to have access to it. So it doesn't matter what level, what tier you sign up. Just go to kingpill.com and you can get in there and enjoy that presentation that he does. He has a Substack that you can go if you want to go read some of his Substack posts. It's Contrarian Corner, both spelled with a K. Contrarian Corner on Substack. He's a good guy, and he's just been posting his basically his like year in review, showing his portfolio over the past year. And I don't remember what the number was. I don't want to bring it up say something that's wrong off the top of my head, but he's done very well. So yeah,
he's done really well.
Yeah. So he's not he's not a huckster. He definitely knows his stuff. He was great to talk to. And he's been in the Discord. He is a member of the King Pill Discord server, so he's been in there talking with people about his chosen subject. And we've got a whole bunch of other threads in there too on all kinds of stuff, homesteading. That was the other thing I was going to bring up actually. This is perfect. Segued right into it. So,
Damn.
It won't be long. You'll actually enjoy this. So you remember the guy who came in? I don't know what it was, 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Last week?
Was it last week?
Yeah, it wasn't that long. It was last week, a couple days ago.
It's been a long weekend.
Yeah,
I pulled an all-nighter Saturday night into Sunday, and so yeah, it's been all my days are all messed up. But we had a young guy show up, and I never got confirmation of his age, but we got confirmation of his age, if you know what I mean. And he showed up, and he was in there for a couple of days, and then
guns blazing.
He just decided to go guns blazing. He decided that there was a certain thing he wanted in that community that wasn't currently there. He wanted to do it was like have like a men's group for accountability or something, which is cool. I think it's a great idea. I'd love to see like anybody who wants to start something like that. They're more than welcome. The platform is open to them. I will advertise it for them. I'll encourage other people to go there. I'll take advantage of it if I can. I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. So we've provided the community, we've provided the platform, and we come and we're involved in there every day, and it's hopping. There's tons of activity. But he was like, well, you guys aren't doing this one thing that I want. And we were like, well, we'd love to. That sounds like a great idea. He's like, but we have to do it this way. It has to be done this way. But I don't want to take the lead on it. I just want everybody to agree to just do it.
And I want everyone to go watch 10 hours worth of this podcast that no one's ever heard of that explains how to do this thing, and then come back and we're going to have a conversation about it. So let's plan like a week out for this day. If you can't commit to at least 2 hours a week, of like, this sort of accountability group, then you're fucking lazy and stupid. And this is basically his tone. And keep in mind, this guy has said nothing. He's been in there for like 2 days and has not said a single word. And he just comes in flying off the handle.
And it was like, I went back through and I read some of the messages, and I could tell, I could see where he thought he was coming from. There's definitely like a healthy dose of autism. And I think he meant well, but he just is, he just doesn't have the people skills or something like that. So we had multiple people who gave him really long, thoughtful responses on, we're like, hey, we think the idea you have is good. You need to take the onus. Like, you need to step up and lead it. You're probably going to
want this thing. Like, imagine like just showing up to like, I don't know, you move to a new town, you go into like the Elks Lodge or something like that, and then you just go in and start demanding that everybody provide you a service.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's a good idea for a service. Maybe you want to take the lead on it. You're like, oh, no, I just want to come in here and I want you all to do this thing for me because I want it. You're like, what kind of sales pitch is that, dude?
And he goes, and he says, I want there to be a barrier to entry so that people have to really commit to it and prove themselves. And then he said, and I want people to be able to acknowledge that if they can't set aside 2 hours a week to listen to this podcast and do this thing, then they need to, like, that's okay if you can't, but you need to at least acknowledge that that's a problem. And I was like, okay, this is where it became really clear that, like, this is a young kid. There's a young guy who I really hope it is. If this is an old guy, then it's a dire situation. It's a young guy. He just showed up and he's like, hey, I'm going to be like proactive and put myself out there and really speak my piece and advocate. And this is what I've heard. Like, we need to be disciplined and responsible. And so please come help me be disciplined and responsible. And I was like, yeah, I will fully support. I'll probably even take part in this. Like, I could use this. I could use better time management. I think this would be great. I think it'd be fantastic to have people in the Discord who are facilitating this kind of thing. I just asked him to do it. I said, you do it. And he was like, no, please stop asking me. This is making me uncomfortable. And I'm like, I'm not a leader. I'm not a good leader. Like, why are you asking me to lead your thing if you think that I don't know how to relate to people?
It's not my thing. Yeah.
And it was like
it's your thing, dude.
We want you to do it. Here, have a platform.
I found it funny how he kept saying, he was like, he kept saying, Matt, why are you asking me to lead your thing for you? You're like, it's not my thing, it's your thing.
I think what he was saying is, the thing you're wanting me to do with me leading it, that's not the thing that I want. That's the thing you want. But the thing that I want is people to do it my way, but me not be the one leading it. And we're just like, no, like, you can lead it. I told him, you may even have to, like, this is how it works with groups like this. I can tell you, when you're organizing groups of people for something like this, most likely what you're going to have to do, if you care about it, is you're going to have to be willing to commit to doing it by yourself with nobody doing it with you for a sustained period of time. And people will gradually start to figure it out. They'll gradually start, yeah, man, he's in the VC. Like, every single evening, he's sitting in there waiting for someone to show up and talk to him. I'll hop in there and talk to him. If someone did something like that, like, they would get people's attention, and the people who are going to do it with them would go do it with them. But you have to be this is a fundamental leadership thing. Like, you have to be the one that starts doing it first.
Yeah, you can tell he doesn't have a lot going on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
because to him,
demanding a bunch of people, like
if I was a 21 or
doesn't have kids, you know.
If I was a 21 or 22-year-old guy, I'd be like, really? Like, you can't set aside just like 2 hours a day to do something like this and then commit to that a couple times a week? Like, what? Now it's like, okay, hold on. Let me get my calendar out. I got to open up the calendar app here. Let me put my my bifocals on. A couple hours a week can be a big demand. It has to be really worthwhile.
Like, yeah, not only that, but there's also, like, you're asking, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours a week. Well, first of all, you have to watch 10 hours, 11 hours worth of this random niche podcast that he found that has this idea that he likes. So that right there is 10 hours, 10 or 11 hours, plus subsequently 2 to 4 hours every week in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a cost to that time.
Mm-hmm.
That you're not providing me, at least you haven't demonstrated that you can provide value equivalent to the amount of time that's going to cost me.
Now, if you could demonstrate that, if you could demonstrate how this value would be there, This is why I said at the time, I actually I messaged Cooper and I said we need to talk about sales. Like we need to get someone to come on and talk to these guys about sales. If there's one single skill to any young guy, and by young I mean like sub 40, any under 40 guy who is dissatisfied with your current state and you don't know how to sell, that should be the first thing you do is go learn how to sell. Because when you learn how to sell, everything else will open up. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, when Ryan points out, Ryan Isaac, that it was Holy Week for like 2/3 of us.
Right. Yeah. What he did, he had no awareness of this, no context for this, because he just got there.
It's Holy Week for like 2/3 of us, and he's arguing about this for like 3 hours at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Like, yeah, most of it. And he's like, why isn't anybody? Why is there only like 3 people answering me? And it's like, because it's 8 o'clock in the morning on like a Wednesday.
Like a Wednesday.
What are you talking about? People are at work.
Cable says another Stapleton reference. You may have a good product, but if you're a schizo spurg, no one's going to buy it. Yeah. Like, if you're selling something, you are part of what you're selling. Well, you're, in fact, the most important thing that you're selling.
And there was a bunch of people in that Discord who, well, there was like 10 of us who were trying to give him, like, actually, like, I think everyone kind of like realized, like, okay, this immediately realized this is kind of a young guy. He's a little spurgy. He maybe doesn't have social skills. Let's try to give him some pointers on how to, like, how would you pitch this? How would you sell this? You know, and trying to help him out. A couple of those guys are actually really high value guys too. You know what they're talking about. And he just blew them all off. Like, no, fuck that. You're stupid. You know? And you're like, geez, dude. Okay, well, you want people to come do this thing with you, and you immediately, the first thing you say when you're in this Discord after being here for 2 days is just to piss off, like, I don't know, 20 people. Good luck with that. Some of these people who have been in this Discord and we've all known each other for years, and you're gonna be like, you're gonna come in here and just like put your Tic Tac on the table and start swinging it around, like that's gonna achieve anything? We're all just gonna DM each other privately and be like, "Fuck this guy," which is exactly what we did.
So, to anybody else who wants to join the Discord, just know that we're all privately DMing each other about how retarded you are.
You gotta earn your keep.
Yeah, that's what, like, so I guess the resolution of it was, I'd said that I was hoping that, 6 months from now, he would be like a core member of the Discord and everyone would be relentlessly busting his balls about the way he introduced himself and everything.
We'd all laugh about it.
Yeah, totally. And
I gotta give it to him. It was a pretty ballsy introduction.
Yeah, like he's not short on I don't know, like he's got energy. He's got good energy. He just needs to be able to channel it the right way. But he messaged me privately and said he wanted a refund and wanted out. So I was like, all right, fine. Yeah, I wouldn't have kicked him out, but if he wanted to leave, he could leave. So anybody else who wants to join, number one, don't be that guy. And number two, like, we won't kick you out, but we will relentlessly make fun of you. You'd have to do, like, there's certain things that could get you kicked out, but it would have to be pretty particular things. But I do also want to use that, huh?
Do I even know those things? What are those things?
Well, like posting porn for one thing. Yeah. Posting anime is close.
That's pretty close.
Like, there's a couple guys in there that we kind of work around it a little bit. But you gotta be careful. Yep. But
I have actually, if I stumble upon anime that anyone posts of these few people we're talking about, I don't say anything. I just delete it.
So, really?
Yes. But I'm not in there. I'm not in there all the time, so I'm sure I've missed some. But if I ever come across anime, I just delete it. So
I didn't realize that. That's great. But I also wanted to say to anybody else, if you want to start a men's accountability and time management initiative, and you want to take the lead on it, then our platform is open to you. Or if you have some other venture or some other something that you think would be of value, we want to have multiple different people like this who, like Ben, who are specialists in a particular field and they want to teach or coach along other people. So it can be a great place for you to practice your pitching skills, or to recruit or network, or there's a lot of people in there with a lot of skills, and we all want to be active. We all want to be building stuff, and especially building stuff together. So that's the purpose of the King Pill Discord server. As Cable says, stop being poor and fat. Yes. So yeah, kingpill.com, that'll get you in there. And again, this Friday, I need to confirm what time we said. I think I might have it on I put it on my calendar. Let me see.
I'm just while you're wrapping up, I'm just gonna bounce because I'm about to piss my pants.
Okay. Oh yeah, Cooper's been. See, Amanda, you can go. Cooper's been
Later.
doing
Hi, everybody. Christ is risen.
Truly is risen. Cooper's been doing a juice fast. He saw a thread by our good buddy Josh Rayner talking about how great it was. So I think he said just before we started the show, he said he was up to like 2,300 calories today just from juice. And he said he's just sweating, just like his metabolism's ramping up and he's just pouring sweat and pissing like a racehorse. So, and then he was there chugging juice the whole time we've been live. So he's probably, I imagine, he's not a big guy. So I imagine his bladder's not very big. Ben Kelleran, Mastermind, Friday at 7 p.m. Central. So Friday, 7 p.m. Central, Friday the 10th, May 10th, he is going to be doing a presentation on his commodities investments and his strategy and what he's looking at and why he's looking at it. And he is going to be giving that presentation. So anybody who wants to join, if you want to see it live and talk to him about it, it's going to be in the King Pill Discord, and everybody who's in the Discord will be able to see it, have access to it. So kingpill.com, go sign up, and you can get in for that. Cable says, damn it, he left before I could tell him wait for the explosive diarrhea. Yeah, he's probably going to get that. Ryan said, what did Cooper do for Sunday on Sunday for Pascha? No, he started this today. So he pigged out on on Sunday, as I think all of us did. Alrighty. Well, I think that is just about it. Oh, random username says, I'm actually going to give the podcast a shot. A different guy in the Discord, Mind Your Head, recommended it. Okay, cool. Let us know what you think. You go listen to 10 episodes of it and then let us know what you think. And maybe Darren will wind up being the one who runs the men's accountability and time management group. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourselves a fantastic one, and like the stream, share the stream, leave us a comment, rating, review on the podcast, and all that good stuff. And we will see you back here within the next